So this lady called Lily decides to paint her face black for Halloween and then takes it to X where she begins to give black women advice on Halloween. Mhm. This gets very many people talking. Obviously, she's white, and then I had that she's also racist, which is not the point at this moment. I'm going to allow you to watch part of what she said if you are not yet familiar with it. If you're familiar, well and good, and then the responses that are going to come after this. But the fact that in 2025 there are people out there that are still encouraging colorism, that are still connecting blackness to crime, that are still connecting blackness to anything negative and bad, but nothing good, only shows that colorism is not ending any soon.
Goal for today. I was gonna get some chicken, and I was also gonna get some watermelon, but I didn't have much time. I like last minute. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this because this would be really fun, and we haven't done a stream in a while. So I was gonna go buy KFC, but by the time I remembered to do that, I was already in blackface, and I figured it probably wasn't the smartest idea to go out in public looking like this. Plus, I'm already sweating and it's kind of coming off. By the way, this is really hard. Props to black women who can actually pull this off, because it's really difficult keeping this, and I still don't have it completely on. Cost me $50. The guy at Walmart. I went to Walmart to get it, and people were looking at me very strangely because I was in the aisle, and I had this. I was like, where is the black makeup? By the way, discrimination. There is not enough black makeup. Also, I got my nails. I got my nails did. I got my nails did too. And I wanted a wig. I wanted a weave, but I couldn't find one. I went to Dollar General, which was full of blacks, by the way. I was the only white person there. I went to Family Dollar, Dollar General, Dollar Tree, and fucking Walmart, and there was not a single wig anywhere. Anywhere. So that sucked. I'm also burning up. I was gonna do my hands, but it was getting everywhere. Like I've already got black face all over the place, so I didn't want to ruin my computer for the sake of the bit. But yeah, we're in festive gear. We've got our pumpkin, no KFC, and no watermelon today, and no sweet tea as well. Actually, I do have some tea.
Who are you doing this for? Who are you trying to impress? Who are you trying to anger? You really think that you putting on a whole bunch of dark makeup and talking about getting your nails done, and wanting fried chicken and watermelon, you think that upsets us? I promise you it doesn't. And you knew better than to go outside looking like that because you know better. If you was really about that life, you would have went outside and got that chicken looking just like that. If you was really committed to the bit. I got my nails did.
A lot of y'all scared to have dark-skinned kids. I don't like that shit. Like, what's wrong with melanin? What's wrong with deep brown skin? That's power. That's royalty. That's legacy, G. Dark skin ain't no curse. It's divine. It's sun kiss. It's strength. It's survival. Y'all gotta stop letting society trick you into hating what the sun itself celebrates. Be proud of that chocolate tone, cause every shade of black is beautiful. But that deep brown, that's ancestry. That's goddess energy. That's kingship. Embrace that shit. Don't run from it.
I saw a guy on here say that the reason that he wants to have dark skinned children is because imagine him having to give his light skinned child a whooping. And like, why is it that when y'all think of dark skin, you're immediately thinking of violence? Like, I know he was probably thinking like, oh, that's why I got to make sure my family's dark skinned because I don't want to. Why are you thinking of a child and you're thinking of harming them and being like, well, I don't want to harm a light skinned child. I only want to harm a dark skinned child. And that's supposed to be appealing. A lot of people really cannot uncouple dark skin and violence. Like even he was dark skinned talking about he doesn't want to whip a light skinned child. Like you guys sound like you're oppressors. It's so weird to even just fixate on harming children, period. But then you're like, no, I don't want to look up at him and his complexion is light and it's just going to make me feel weird. And it's like, this is so sick. Like that means you feel like your only amount is how much harm you can take. That's what it means for you. You think that your complexion just means you could take more. And them be the same ones that try and talk to other dark skinned women. Like people like that scare me. Like that level of just thinking of violence unprovoked.
Oh, and by the way, Mike Brown was 18 years old. Yeah. Laquan McDonald was 17 years old. Dante Wright was 20 years old. Botham Jean was 25 years old, so he's a bigger kid. Breonna Taylor was 25 years old, so yeah, a bigger kid for sure. Trayvon Martin was 15 years old. And Tamir Rice was 12 years old.
Why did someone in the comments say, not in Nigeria though, y'all be safe? Safe where? Because why was my nickname Dudu Oshu growing up? Another example, a grown man walked up to me. Mind you, I was minding my business, and let me tell you, I think I was like 10 or 11, around that age, and he told me I would look better if I was yellow, and I need to bleach my skin so I would look more attractive, more presentable. Yeah. People literally see me, my mom, and my brother and ask if I'm adopted because they're lighter than me. When I say no, they start arguing with me. Even my mom is like, oh no, now my picking me that, and they're still arguing. And then they'll ask me why I don't have my mom's genes, because if I was yellow like her, I would have been pretty. Mind you, me and my mom look exactly the same. She's just lighter than me. This is the same Nigeria people are talking about, please.
Everybody's like, delete the video. You're making dark-skinned girls look weak. Guys, I feel like we don't talk about this enough. But you guys dehumanize dark-skinned girls. You do. Anytime a dark-skinned girl gets vulnerable or emotional, your instant response is to shut her down and tell her, no, wipe them tears. They can't see you like this. No, you got to show up strong. No. You guys have this thing where you expect dark-skinned women to always show up at our best to be accepted and heard. We got to have a full face of makeup. We got to have a fucking lace wig. We got to show up strong all the time. And that is not real. That is not real. That is not a fair expectation of any woman, actually any human. Like, I really do think that y'all forget dark-skinned women are women. What do you think about when you think of women? We're what? We're typically vulnerable, feminine, emotional beings. Are we not?
The term brown skin is really a made-up term. It is a term that came out of the peak colorism era. And y'all know what peak colorism era was. That was around 2009 to about 2016. It was a term created to separate ourselves from dark skin. Separate ourselves from the negative connotations that the word dark skin had. Women who were a shade or two lighter than I am, to women that are my color, started using the term brown skin to separate ourselves from being dark skinned. I'm gonna hold your hand with a napkin in between and tell you that you are a dark skinned woman, and that takes nothing away from your beauty. That takes nothing away from your features. That takes nothing away from you. You are dark skinned. I find it almost appalling that we still have all of these separators, these categories for blackness. You are dark skinned, and there's nothing wrong with that. I am black. I am black, and I stand in my blackness, and I'm gonna marry a man who is black as hell. I'm gonna have kids who are black as hell because I'm black as hell. And I really don't understand why we have to use terms like, no, I'm brown skin. I'm not. Just because you are not the darkest shade of dark skin does not mean that you are not dark skin. There is light skin, and then there is dark skin. And just how light skin ranges in tones, dark skin does too.
So I have a question. Do you guys not associate dark skin with South Africa? And I'm asking this because as someone who grew up in a city as a dark-skinned person, I got asked a lot when I was growing up. Even now sometimes I get it, but I got asked a lot whether I was Congolese, right? Congolese was the main one, and then sometimes I'd get I got Kenya, I've gotten Ghana a few times, not a lot, it's not very common, but I've gotten it a few times, and just a few other random African countries, right? Everything but South Africa. And I remember when I was younger, it was such a strange experience because I used to have one of my best friends was Congolese, and she was lighter skinned than me. And she used to have the opposite problem, which was that people used to always greet her in Venak, right? So sometimes strangers would find us together and they'd greet her in Zulu and they'd turn to me and greet me in English. And I was always like, okay, in order for people to talk to me in Venek, I had to say something to them in Venek. Then they'd be like, and I suppose that's my question. Do you guys not associate dark skin with South Africa and it being a South African feature?
I'm going through my daughter's phone and I go through everything. When I do a sweep, sweeping the whole fucking phone. Yes. I'm going through messages, all that, girls, boys, groups, chat, it does not matter. I'm reading everything. You understand me? Boom. I get to this one message with a girl, and as I'm scrolling, I just see long paragraphs from my daughter to the girl. Get to the top of that thread, the girl says, if I offended you in any way, Nyla, I apologize. Now I'm reading my daughter's response, which was the whole paragraphs. My daughter says, it was just so hurtful coming from you. I would never have expected that from you. I thought that we were cool. I thought that we were friends. And I honestly felt like you was trying to show off for such and such boy. And then I just see something like, I just got so upset. That's why I started crying, something like that. So now I'm waiting for my daughter to wake up because, I went through her phone when she was asleep. I'm waiting for her to wake up. My daughter wakes up and I asked her about the message. So I'm like, what happened? She was just like, I thought she was my friend and she just did some weird stuff. So I'm like, what did she do? What did she do? She was like, she waited until we was in front of a lot of people and then she was going to look at me and say, oh, Nyla, I didn't realize you was that black. First off, my daughter is brown skinned, but if she was black, why the fuck does it matter? And mind you, this is the same little girl that keeps messaging my daughter, asking her for her login so she could do her work, asking for papers, trying to get some damn answers to all kinds of assignments that they have and stuff like that. So I always instill in both of my children, because I have dark-skinned children. Like, my daughter's not really dark-skinned, but my son is. But I instill into both of them. Black is beautiful, because if I had it my way, my children would have been way darker than what they are. So I asked my daughter, what about that made you cry? She was like, the fact that she just said it in front of everybody, but she was saying it trying to be funny, which is understandable, right? I understand that made you mad. What about it made you cry? She was just like, because it was just so much that I could have said that I didn't say. And I was just so shocked. And the only reason why I didn't say none of the things that I wanted to say was because I didn't want to hurt her feelings. And that right there, it be about to make me crash out every time, because my daughter is just she's not confrontational at all. She's very soft-spoken. She avoids drama. She's not into drama. She's just a playful little girl, and she's just like so sweet. But it be these other kids. I don't know who the raising these kids, but I don't take shit like that light at all. I don't. And I don't play like that. I don't give a fuck if the little girl apologized or whatever, because you did what you did. And the only reason why you did that shit is because you being raised by a weird ass bitch that thinks shit like that is funny, that think being light is right and all that. I don't play shit like that. I don't. I really don't. And I really be trying to like let my child live her life and not trying to intervene as much, but shit like that, bitches get cut off.
So when someone decides to stay dark and beautiful, it's a bad thing because their color is black, really black. Then they decide to bleach their color. It's still a bad thing because they're changing from their original color to a color that is not theirs. And that's where you're going to find these weak parents who fear insults, bleaching even their own children in this day and era. Can you imagine? I rest my case.